So, in light of Gabbie coming out with the new podcast claiming that Trisha ruined her life, we thought we'd go ahead and re-review the podcast that Gabbie had that Trisha went on because I think it's important to point out what actually happened during this time. So, we're going to do a fact check here. We're going to go through the video and we're going to point out who is lying and when. We've done videos on this before. We have compilation videos of this, but we're going to give it another look and we're going to review this straight out by reviewing the entire podcast instead of just clipping lives back and forth. I'm going to actually commentate on it. So, Gabbie says that Trisha ruined her life and orchestrated an attack against her. We're going to let's play this video and see just what happened at this time when these two came face to face. I will tell you, spoiler alert, a lot of lies are told, and we will be exposing the person who told the lies with actual footage showing when they lied and what they lied about. So let's get into it. The video is called Full Uncut Trisha Paytas Burnout with Gabbie Hanna podcast. Let's go. When I asked Trisha to come onto Burnout, I wasn't aware of what had just kicked off between her and Shane. I invited her on because I was tired of her continually attacking me and had tried everything else. I debated canceling, but if you've ever been a part of Trisha's life, you know that it's a constant state of walking on eggshells. I was worried that if I backed out, she would take it as rejection and be triggered into attacking me online. The drama with her and Shane grew, and then with David and the vlog squad. I will say, this top part is true because Trisha does take rejection and cancellations as being rejected. So a couple of examples of this would be when her and Jason first ever had a date to meet up. Jason canceled on her, and she made an exposed video about him.
Talk about a lot of guys I go out with.
Yeah. I heard that's sort of what you do, and that's your thing. That,
Actually, I already spoke about you.
You did.
Yeah, because you flaked on me. So you've already, but I didn't say your name. God, I was all pretty, ready to go for our date last night. 25 minutes before, you're like, sorry. I was like, this mother.
I'm so sorry.
There was also another time where a wrestler, I believe it was Dolph Ziggler, was also supposed to meet up with her and canceled, and she also made an exposed video.
Dolph, if you're out there, Dolph Ziggler, he's a WWE wrestler. He still is. We had like a friendship, but definitely like, I think we hooked up like once or something. I mean, he was really nice. He's like literally like one of the nicest guys. And I did a stupid exposed video because he got in late and he's like, can we do tomorrow? And I was pissed because I had my full hair and makeup done and I was pissed. So I did a video.
So she does do this when she has a scheduled date with someone and they don't show up. It caused me a lot of anxiety because I didn't want to be involved with it. The point for me was to clear the air and move on, not air out everyone else's dirty laundry. I told her she was free to say whatever she wanted, so she didn't feel like I was censoring her, but that I personally didn't want to talk about anybody but us. Now, here's where I personally think that this started to go left, because this was during the time, like Gabbie said, where Trisha and Shane fell out and where Trisha was trying to cancel David and Jason. So I think she wanted Gabbie to speak ill of both of them, because she even said on front of me, she said, the things that David did to Gabbie were horrible. Like, he fat shamed her, he treated her bad. She wanted Gabbie to speak about these things, but Gabbie didn't want to, which I think upset Trisha, because I think part of her going onto the podcast was to get another ally in trying to take both Shane and David and Jason down. It became clear to me pretty quickly that Trisha took my invite as me wanting to team up against Shane, David, and the vlog squad. I repeatedly told her I don't want to get into drama. I repeatedly told her I didn't want to get into drama on the podcast, so we spent about an hour beforehand talking about everything privately. Once we started rolling, I didn't know how to navigate the conversation because we were there with very different motives and intentions. So you guys, I actually do believe this part too, because I feel like Trisha was going on Gabbie's podcast as sort of like a peace treaty. Like, I think she was going to make peace with her, but she was going to use it in the sense of them teaming up against the people that Trisha didn't like. And when Gabbie didn't do that, it kind of, I think, ruined the bridge that Trisha was trying to build, because she wasn't really there to make up with Gabbie, like to make up with Gabbie. She was there to make up with Gabbie to kind of reel Gabbie in on her side. Now, Gabbie says, I already tend to be long winded and repeat myself a lot, but this podcast is next level. I'm not going to lie, gang. I can believe this is true because even all this text is pretty long winded. 1, I got blackout drunk. I never drink, but certain situations call for it. 2, I was incredibly nervous and honestly scared. 3, I was confused and disorientated because I was being gaslighted and lied to for hours by the woman who has relentlessly harassed me privately and publicly for years. 4, my ADHD was unmedicated. 5, she was stonewalling. This encounter lasted hours too long because I didn't know how to wrap it up. And each break, I asked her if she wanted to end it, and she kept saying she wanted to keep going. I was afraid for her to leave with negative feelings because I know what she does. We hadn't reached a resolution. She hadn't admitted to any wrongdoings or offered an apology. In the end, we left on what appeared to be civility and acceptance. She told me she was happy we talked, that she now looked at me as a person and not just a character on the internet to harass, and that all the drama was behind us. I sent her the podcast to review, sent her voice notes detailing the parts I removed and why, and offered to make any changes to make her feel comfortable. She approved the podcast and I posted it. Shortly after the podcast went live, within hours, she posted 2 videos doubling down and furthering her lies. She since has been unable to control herself from inserting herself into my life and publicly berating me every chance she gets. Every time the internet is mad at her, she finds a way to deflect the attention onto me, her chosen permanent scapegoat.
Wait, Sam, before we start, can you grab our zebra cakes?
Oh yeah, I'm
'Cause
ready.
I kind of want to tuck into that.
Okay. I had two. I'm
Can we
being
bring
selfish.
the pizzas in here? Or?
Oh my god, I don't think we have enough room.
No, we totally do.
Where are you?
I want to say off the bat that I find it interesting that Trisha agreed to go on this podcast, considering that at the time she was saying that Gabbie Hanna scared her and that she was scared for her life to be anywhere near Gabbie Hanna or to even talk about her. So it's interesting that she went on her podcast and was in such close proximity to her. Because remember, she told Ethan and everyone else that she got 24-hour security to keep Gabbie Hanna away from her because she believed Gabbie Hanna was showing up at her house.
We'll put it on the music stand. Can you bring the pizza?
Can they see it?
Who cares? We like food. Who cares?
True that.
I feel like I didn't even eat the pizza because we were like talking. You
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
either. You had like a
No,
piece.
usually when I'm like talking to people, because it's like I usually like shove my face full of food. So when I'm like, and I eat really fast, so if I'm talking, I like take my time.
I like ate before you got here, and then the pizza came, and then I just didn't want to eat anymore.
Yeah, I was the same way. I had pizza today.
You know what? They seem pretty okay. I would even go as far as to say that even Trisha seems friendly. They both obviously appear to be nervous. Gabbie does appear to be. This could just be me. I know she said in the text portion that she was drunk, and she does appear to be a little bit like not entirely there. Like, look how relaxed she seems in such a nervous situation. Like, even Trisha's like sitting upright. You can tell she's a little bit nervous. Where Gabbie looks a little bit more relaxed, but like she said, she had been drinking. But so far, so good.
And I was like, but I look at
Dude,
all
I
the
saw
pizza.
that and I was so bummed.
I love it,
because I
though.
checked your TikTok today.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I knew you were gonna get glam.
Yeah.
And then you got pizza, Domino's.
Yeah. No, but I eat Domino's all day for real. Like, if this is a snack to me, it's like not dinner. Like, we'll probably have dinner after this. Like, it's a snack.
I feel
Can I
that.
put
Yeah.
this over here?
Oh.
On this thing? Is that okay?
Again, they seem extremely comfortable for two people who were kind of at each other's throats, or for two people who were kind of quote unquote scared of each other. I would say the fact that Gabbie seems so, I don't want to say like under the influence, but a little bit because she does appear to be lax and drunk, that she probably was more nervous than Trisha because Trisha seems to be, to me, in a sober state of mind. Like, she does not look like she's that relaxed in the slightest. She looks like she's a little bit on edge, but is trying to be friendly, and Gabbie appears to be trying to be friendly as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
why
it.
not? Totally.
That's
I think I
so
need to
funny.
get a bigger table for in here. I thought this
Yeah.
one was cuter, but this is not
cute.
conducive to
It's not at the
snacks.
fall. Is that too crazy?
No, we love this. This is good.
Secret case. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Mm.
Hey guys, are we rolling?
This one's rolling.
I like that you leave that part in too.
Yes.
It's all gonna be here.
It's funny.
Keep it real. We're authentic over here.
I like it. No, it's cool.
Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout. This is the
I actually do think that's a genuine compliment from Trisha because Trisha would constantly tell Jason when they were dating to leave footage like this in his vlogs because she felt it made them more authentic and she liked that. So I do think it was a genuine compliment that Trisha gave her.
the crossover nobody expected.
I did not expect it. When you texted me Sunday, I was like, literally, I was in the car with my mom, my sister, Moses, and I was just like, look who texted me. Because, like, I feel like I've only been so negative to you online. So I was like, wow, she's just like, that either doesn't care or just like, I don't know what it is, but I was like, oh, okay, I'm down. Like,
So that's interesting too, is that Trisha says that she was with her family and she's like, look who texted me. And she was surprised because she said that she's so negative toward Gabbie online that she couldn't believe that Gabbie was reaching out to her positively. Now Trisha's saying, but I didn't care. I was like, oh, let's do it. That strikes me as odd because if you were as scared of Gabbie as you said you were, why would you be so quick to just agree to go see her? You said you had 24-hour security against her. So why, if she reaches out to you, would you be like, oh, it's Gabbie. Yeah, I'll go on your podcast. Would she not be a little bit more afraid? And why is she kind of presenting this as I've been negative to you and not you've been negative to me? She kind of makes it seem like she's surprised because she herself has been the mean one and she doesn't know why Gabbie would reach out to her if she's been against Gabbie. Because you would think that if it was the other way around, she would say, Gabbie has been hating me online, so for her to reach out was so shocking. But instead she said, I've been hating her online.
I admired it. I was like, you like, wow, that was crazy.
Well,
And she admired it. She admired someone that she claimed that she was scared of reaching out to her. Again, that strikes me as odd. Why would you admire or think it took courage for someone that you're supposedly scared of to reach out to you and invite you somewhere? You would think that that would maybe instill fear or worry, concern, not praise, not pride.
wanted to talk to you, I feel like, for forever, just because
Yeah.
I mean, even before like all the drama and stuff, like I would talk to you, like I'd reach out to you all the time.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
would have some like cute heart to hearts or whatever.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, so like I always
Okay, so right off the bat, Gabbie says, I would reach out to you all the time. Trisha acknowledges that. And then Gabbie says, we would have some cute heart to hearts. And then Trisha immediately says, yeah, like agreeing that that happened, which is strange because before this podcast, Trisha was saying that she didn't know Gabbie like that. They hardly spoke. They never spoke. She didn't even know her. They weren't friends. But then how are you having heart to hearts with someone that you don't really know and aren't friendly with? Why would you be opening your heart to them?
There are two YouTube gals that I have met and we've always talked about hanging out, and like I really am like gonna make the effort because we've texted each other and be like, when are you free and stuff, and like they're super busy and I'm super busy, but Gabbie show, who I literally talked and tweeted with for forever, like so long.
I always liked you as a person because I saw a lot in you that like I feel like the world wasn't ready to see yet, because every time you were having like a kitchen floor breakdown or like whatever it is, I understood what you were saying. And I don't know, I did want to be a friend to you. I wanted to let you know that like I get you and like I get the negativity, and it's actually really bold to be so emotional online, because my career.
So there's a little bit here where I'm iffy with Gabbie, because I do believe her that she wanted to be her friend and she reached out to her, because I do remember Trisha also mentioning this. Trisha said that like she was going through something and Gabbie reached out and tried to help her. And I remember Trisha saying at the time, why would I accept your help? Like, you said this about me to Jason. So it is true that Gabbie would see Trisha struggling and saying, I'm so alone online, I have no friends. And then Gabbie would reach out to try to be a friend. The only thing that throws me off about this, because I believe that she actually did it because Trisha verified it, the only thing that throws me off is in her recent podcast, Gabbie said, Trisha was the one who appeared to want to be friends more and to want to be friends to a deeper extent than I did. And I was kind of like, oh my God, I hardly like know you. And you're saying that you're so grateful for our friendship. But to me, it sounds like Gabbie also had a vested interest in the friendship and wanting to make it work, because she's saying that she would see Trisha struggling and then reach out to her, which has been confirmed, so we can believe that. I personally think the truth here is that they both wanted to be friends. Not best friends, but I do believe that they both wanted to know each other in some capacity, just not to the same extent.
Career. I spent a lot of time hiding who I was, and it was exhausting, and then it drove me crazy. And looking back at videos even from literally the summer or like a year ago, I'm like, who is that? Because I had so many walls up and guards up, and I was so anxious.
Yeah.
This is a random note that I'm just observing based off body language. Notice that they're both closed off and protecting themselves. Gabbie with her legs crossed and Trisha with her arms crossed is them both being in defensive positions. Neither one of them trust each other, and both of them are protecting themselves. And rightfully so, because neither of them did trust each other. Gabbie obviously didn't trust Trisha because Gabbie had been spoken about and lied about. And Trisha didn't trust Gabbie because I think Trisha didn't know what Gabbie's motives and intentions were for even having her on the podcast. And I believe that's why she appears to be so defensive. Even though Gabbie told her, like, hey, this is what I want to do. I just want to talk. I just want to reconcile. I don't think Trisha believed that. And that's why she looks so defensive.
Because I was trying to be somebody I wasn't.
Because you don't see Trisha sitting like this with anyone else ever in any podcast or interview or anything. This is strictly something she looks like frozen up, like with Gabbie.
What era is this? Last year or like how many years ago? Or
Times
beginning of your
times
career?
Warp.
Oh, okay. I'm
When
trying or just
I
all
just
together.
like look back at like the like character that I created when I was 22 online.
Oh, okay, right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like just not. It just wasn't me. So.
Yeah, you have definitely changed so much. I think you changed the most. I'm just like I said, I keep
The
up
thing
with you.
is,
I'm like, whoa.
I only changed online. Like this is who I've always been in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watch your vlogs. You're like this.
Again, I don't entirely believe Gabbie at this point. I don't think that she always was this person that she claimed she was. I do believe this was kind of a front to just be like, I had a character online, but I've always been this chillin' person. I don't know if I exactly believe that, considering some stories we've heard from both her personally and those who have known her personally. I do believe she was a little bit more high strung. Um, I do believe she was a little bit more high strung, but Trisha appears to be kind of just going with it. And I don't think it's that big of a lie because, you know, when people reinvent themselves, they kind of like to just be like, oh, yeah, this is who I've always been. So it's not a crime, just interesting.
This is who I always was. No one saw it. I'm playing character. I'm like, is this a character? Are you trolling? Because like people don't like you, so now you're like, just kidding, guys. That's not me. Because I.
Ooh, never mind. Trisha didn't go with the flow. Trisha didn't go with it. She's actually calling her out. So Trisha's saying, oh, now I think that is a character because you were way different before and now you're like this lax person. And now I'm like, are you being a character now? Are you doing this now because you were canceled and nobody likes you? So now you have to pretend that you were always this chill. This is actually pretty, I don't know if I'd say passive aggressive because it's pretty aggressive aggressive. This is pretty confrontational on Trisha's part. She's basically saying, Gabbie, I don't believe you. You're lying and I don't believe you. So this already is prepping the podcast to be pretty confrontational. I don't know how much they'll let each other get away with things. Like I said, we've reviewed this podcast before to call out lies, but we've never done a reaction to the entire thing. So let's keep going and see just how confrontational it gets.
I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've been like, just kidding. That was like my other personality. You know, so I thought maybe that's what you were doing. I don't know. I mean,
No, it's not that.
Ooh, and it's interesting too that Trisha says, like, oh, I thought you were doing that because that's what I've done. That's true. Trisha has done that. She's done this thing where if she gets enough hate, she'll kind of reinvent her personality and then be like, oh, that was just a character. This is who I really am. Like, she's done that several times. So it's no surprise that she thought Gabbie was doing the same thing. Because on Frenemies, when Gabbie was kind of going through a mental break or what looked to be a mental break, Trisha at the time was like, she's not really going through a mental break. I know she's not because I used to use this exact tactic and Gabbie's copying me and using this tactic to pretend she's having a mental break to get out of trouble because that's what I did. I'll go ahead and insert that clip here.
No, I know what this is, though. This is trolling.
Is this whole thing?
She
just
copies
whatever?
my format to the extreme because now that she had this manic episode and she had a breakdown, she's trying to like, I used to do that time in 2017. Like, you know, you just like are trying to like distract people. Like, look, I'm trolling. I'm in control.
But that's why Trisha appears to be so cautious of Gabbie. Like, it doesn't look like she believes anything she's saying and she's on the defensive.
It's just more of like when I was creating YouTube content, I was doing it as the Gabbie show first. So it
Right.
was like, hey, welcome back. Here's a story. And it was just like, I thought that was the energy I needed to keep up with.
Yeah.
And it was hard to like break away from that, and I needed to be shaken free of that.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my god, it's so funny in person to be here. Like even listening to you like scream, I'm like I started picking that.
I do believe that Gabby put on like an additional character or like emphasized her personality for YouTube, but I don't know if that actually means that she was a whole different person. I think she just was bigger, louder, more vocal for her channel, like kind of like more animated for it, but I don't think that that means that she was a whole different person and this is who she's secretly been the entire time.
That mannerism up because I've been like obsessed with your podcast, and I'm just like literally I was in a vlog, I'm sure you haven't seen it, but I was like it was kind of shady, but I left it in anyways, and I was like screaming and I was like, oh my god, why do I sound like Gabbie Hanna? Because I was like, babe, do you not see what's happening? I'm like, why am I Gabbie? Like it's
So this is interesting too, is that Trisha tells Gabby, I've been obsessed with your podcast. Keep in mind that before this podcast, she was actually saying that she was scared of Gabby, that Gabby was a bad person. She didn't want anything to do with Gabby, but then she was a loyal watcher of her podcast. That seems very sus. Like, how are you scared of someone, but then you're tuning in weekly, daily to listen or watch their podcast? Especially if you're doing this with the person that you got quote unquote 24-hour security against.
Path, I have 24-hour security now.
That's
How many
true.
how many people are you gonna blame having 24?
There's a lot of people to
You're
blame.
like, Hanny Gabba, I've got 24-hour security.
it's so weird to be here in person side. That like tripped me out. I was like, oh my god, I can't
It's
see
fun though to talk in person. I feel like this should have happened a lot sooner.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, okay, so we did talk before this, and so I don't know if that's like a good or bad thing because it like made me like feel more for you as like a human being. And I'm like, I don't know if that's like a good thing because I came in here and I was like,
Ooh, okay. That is kind of shady to say because Trisha's like, I talked to you before we got on this podcast, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing because I was able to empathize with you as a person. That's a weird statement to make because she's basically saying, like, I kind of wish I didn't see you as a human so I could keep treating you the way I've been treating you. That's how that sounds to me because why would you regret or worry about how you realized she was a human being? Like, of course she's a human being. But Trisha does do this thing where she has said before that she thinks people online are characters, so she doesn't feel bad about going at them because she thinks that she could just say whatever she wants about public figures, which is why she went so hard at 16-year-old Charlie D'Amelio. Because to her, that's just another character on the internet. She doesn't view them as real people.
I gotta be like truthful. I don't want to be like kissy or whatever. But then you were really nice, and I figured you were like when I was talking about like my pregame vlog. I was like, obviously she's gonna be nice. No one's gonna be in person that I know of. So
Okay. So then she says that she just wanted to keep the podcast honest and she didn't want to be too butt kissy because she wanted to, get to the bottom of things, have real conversations. What's interesting about this to me is that is the exact reason why Frenemies worked in the beginning, is because Trisha and Ethan got on the podcast and Ethan was not kissing her butt at all. He was just like, you did this, I'm confronting you about this. And it was so real and raw and authentic that's why the podcast took off. Unfortunately, as the podcast went on, Ethan started to kiss her butt and it became more toned down, like a watered down version of itself. And then Ethan just started like completely like backing up everything Trisha said, and they were no longer frenemies; they were just like allies. So it's interesting that she says to Gabby, like, I wanted a real podcast with you. I didn't want like the fake stuff, or like I didn't want the butt kissy stuff. But then why was she then okay with having that with Ethan? Why was it okay to start a podcast so brutally, bluntly honest, and then all of a sudden let it devolve into he's just gonna kiss my butt the entire time?
Well,
but then
some people.
do you think? I don't know. I've never met anyone that was like a person.
When I met a lot of people, I met them when I didn't really like have followers yet, or like when I was first coming up.
This is weird too because she says that she's never met anyone who was mean to her in person, but she has all kinds of stories about many creators who were supposedly mean to her in person. She said that Casey Neistat was mean to her in person. She said Jack's Films was mean to her. She said that David Dobrik's fans were mean to her. She's gone on and on and on about everyone who's been mean to her. So it's interesting that now all of a sudden in this podcast she's saying, oh, really? I've never dealt with that in real life. Well, then why did you tell all these stories on Frenemies about all the people that allegedly mistreated you? Which, by the way, we've proven that all those people that she said were mean to her were not mean to her. I'll go ahead and include those too.
Casey Neistat. I can say I'm a little bit of a hater of him in real life because I feel like he's a little misogynistic and just how I've seen and that's a very, very loose assumption or summary that I've gotten from him. It's just like I've only seen him a couple times very briefly, and he's always acknowledged just the boys and not even me. And when I was dating Jason, like he would never acknowledge like me, and like
Oh, cute.
Good to see you again.
Did you fly in from New York for this? Crazy. You look so good. Oh my God, you're so fit.
Well, let's keep going.
One Vine, so
Uh-huh.
not a ton of people, not a ton of people knew who I was.
like influencers real.
yeah, of course, yeah.
I've never had a
Yeah.
bad like experience, which is weird.
I think
Casey Neistat, because I feel like he's a little misogynistic, and just how I've seen, and that's a very, very loose assumption or summary that I've gotten from him, because I've only seen him a couple times very briefly, and he's always acknowledged just the boys and not even me. And when I was dating Jason, like he would never acknowledge like me, and like
it's probably
Again, this is very strange considering she said on Frenemies, which was before this podcast, she had many episodes on Frenemies telling Ethan that many influencers were mean to her. And she listed all of them and she said what they did to her. But it's interesting that she's lying to Gabbie here and saying, oh, that never happened to me, even though she made it her whole persona on Frenemies to tell Ethan about every person who had ever wronged her. And it was many, many influencers.
you've been around for like a longer than I have been online, so people didn't know who I was. So people were before they knew, and then they were nice to me, and now they're
oh, do you think now influencers are? I get. You think? I don't know. I feel like you have to like have a lot of people on your side.
I don't look online, so I don't know that way. But
Wait, who? I don't think anyone was on Gabbie's side during this era. I can't think of one single person. The only two people that I know that supported Gabbie at this time were Keemstar, which only ruined her reputation more because, let's be real, you don't want Keemstar backing you up. That's a bad look. And Nicholas Diorio, which is a commentary channel. I don't know if anyone's familiar with him. I don't know. Nicholas Diorio, who is a commentary channel. For those who remember Edwin's Generation, which was also another commentary / drama channel, he would frequently talk about Nicholas Diorio and have him on his channel. He was kind of around during the Onision era.
I've seen just like some stuff hurts where I'll see like somebody who I watch a lot, and they've either unfollowed me or they like do like a throwaway joke in a vlog about like, oh, I'm watching Gabbie Hanna, like just as a joke.
Just me.
Yeah. No, I have to be 100%.
I mean, that's honest of Trisha to say. So people like me, because that was Trisha. Like Trisha would always just like randomly comment and be like, I'm watching Gabbie Hanna, even though Trisha was kind of leading the charge against Gabbie Hanna. So it was always kind of confusing to hear that she was so scared of her, but then she would mention her all of the time casually in vlogs and videos and just be like, I'm obsessed with her podcast. I'm watching her podcast. Ooh, Gabbie did this today. Like, just very strange behavior.
Honest, I don't watch your content anymore, which actually hurts me because I love you. I was a big fan. I used to watch all the time, but obviously I had to stop watching because it just was, upsetting.
We switched.
So this makes more sense, you guys. This is what you would think that Trisha would be doing if she was actually the victim in this scenario. If you're being targeted by another person, you're not going to willingly engage in their content and watch it and happily be obsessed with it, which is why Gabbie's saying, I used to watch your content, but I no longer watch it because it's triggering. That aligns more with the truth and leads me to believe that Gabbie was the victim in this scenario. Because if you're being targeted and you're being triggered, you're not going to want to look at who is triggering you. Meanwhile, Trisha claimed that she was triggered and being targeted, but she actively watched and engaged and praised and loved Gabbie's content. That makes absolutely no sense. You don't get scared of someone and get 24-hour security, allegedly, and then tune in again every week, every day, every whatever to go watch their podcast. You just don't do it.
As soon as I started like getting on the I Hate Gabbie train, I became like obsessed. I never watched any of the vlogs, and then I was like,
So now she's saying that as soon as she started hating Gabbie, she started watching all of her content, which doesn't make sense again, you guys. It'd be one thing if you hate watch someone. Like, I know plenty of people, that's kind of why snark Reddits exist. You'll hate watch someone just for the hell of it. But those people weren't traumatized and triggered by the people that they're claiming to hate and snarking on. But Trisha was claiming that she was traumatized and triggered. So she wouldn't hate watch and casually be happy and be a fan. You would think that she'd be scared. But let's see what Gabbie pulled up on the screen here. She's pulling up prior tweets about Trisha watching Gabbie's content. So she says, legit gonna buy a VIP ticket to your show. Like, yes, yes, yes. 90% of my subscription feed are chicks, my faves. The Gigi Gorgeous, The Gabbie Show. Next one, I'm Gab's #1 stalker. Next one, my obsession with the Gabbie Show lately has been unreal. Like, I don't even understand. Like, she's actually the most amazing thing on YouTube now. Now, you guys, believe it or not, these are actually real tweets that were on Trisha's Twitter. Might still be. These are not fake. We found the same ones during our research. Now, what is happening here, though, is Gabbie says that Trisha was saying, I never watched you before, but now that I hate you, I watch you. I don't think that's exactly what Trisha meant, but I do understand the gotcha moment because it does show that Trisha was like obsessed with Gabbie. But in my opinion, she's kind of always been obsessed with Gabbie's content. I think she's always liked Gabbie's content. So I understand Gabbie was trying to show, like, well, you didn't just start watching me before. You watched me. Like, you didn't just start watching me after. You watched me before. But I think what Trisha had been saying was, I stopped watching you. And then once I hated you, I started watching you again. But again, I don't believe that either. I think Trisha has consistently been watching Gabbie since she became aware of her. I think she consistently was a fan and she consistently liked the content and absorbed it.
Where did you start?
Because I was like, because like people send me clips, right? Like from I think the first one was like your breakdown one, like where you had like the green hair, like let's just say it, Trisha Paytas, and I was like, oh, I get like really wild up. So then I just started watching like everything to like see if he would talk about me. It was like this weird, I don't know. I guess people call him narcissist. I hate when people throw those terms.
All these accomplishments. So
That's narcissism. I just like to like.
Like way too like narcissistic for that, I think.
I don't think that's true either, that she just started watching her just to see if she would talk about her. She clearly was watching her before, during, and after the drama. So I don't believe that she just watched her just to see. This is kind of the same excuse she used for the Vlog Squad, where she said, well, I only kept watching them because I just wanted to see if they would talk about me, or, just I couldn't get over them. I don't believe that you would continue to engage with something so triggering and traumatizing and happily watch it at that. I just don't buy it.
Around, but
Yeah.
I guess just more narcissism to see if you're gonna talk about me. And then I actually just started watching everything. I think it was like a hate watch thing. That's what I get when people hate watch me, because I hate watch people. It's not that I hate you.
Hate on YouTube the most.
Oh my god, wait, what? Oh, easy. Who do I hate? Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Hannah, it's Hannah.
Hannah, Hannah, yeah. Like, I hate Gabbie Hanna too. Like, I actually hate that girl because she lied on me.
It was just more like, this girl's like,
It's entertainment.
yeah, you just were so different and just so like.
But hate watching, again, you guys, is different. But it's different if you're just hate watching someone random versus hate watching someone that has allegedly scarred you and traumatized you, and is someone you're so scared of you got security on. You wouldn't hate watch them, and you wouldn't become a fan of them, and you wouldn't become obsessed with their podcast.
I don't know, just so different. I was like, this girl's like weird.
Do you
but,
ever wonder what you look like to somebody who's not you?
like physically or just like
No,
character?
just like what is it like to watch a Trisha Paytas video as not Trisha Paytas?
Oh,
I think about that a lot.
Do
Which
you?
maybe that's narcissism.
about like what people think of you that don't know you.
Well, just like what do they see, kind of thing.
I never thought about it, I guess. I don't know. Because, I don't know. I think of me as something totally different than how people... I don't even know how people see me now. It changes every day to day, so I don't know. But that's interesting. I don't know. How do you think people see you? You think people still, like, hate you? Or you think, like, oh, I'm kind of cool now again?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
At this
Did
point.
you feel hated, like, during all that? Did you
Of
feel
course,
like...
yeah. That's why I deleted.
So this is an interesting swerve in the conversation. Gabbie starts asking Trisha, like, do you ever think about how people view you? Like, does that consume your mind? And Trisha says, no, it doesn't. I've never thought about that, but that's not true. She actually does let that kind of stuff consume her mind, which is why she would make statements like telling Jason, like, I don't really care if you cheat on me. I just don't want people to think that you cheat on me or know that you cheat on me. I just care about the perception of it. So I think she very much did care about people's perception of her. Although here she's acting like, well, I didn't really care what people thought about me, or I didn't really think about it. But I think she did because, again, during Jason and even during Moses, the relationship, she would constantly talk about how she didn't want the relationship to look to others, how she didn't want to appear to others, how she didn't want to be embarrassed to her audience. So she definitely did very much care about how she came across.
Everything. I considered like quitting social media permanently. Honestly, the only reason I came back when I did was for the podcast, because there were like people counting on me who like they've already sold the ad spots and they've already like have producers and who were depending on it, and they just basically said you can't keep not coming. So that's the only reason I came back in the first place, because I had to promote my book contractually, and they were kind of on my head. But
You're like,
I mean, I'm glad I'm here, because I'm really happy with what I'm doing now. But everything happens for a reason, I guess.
Yeah. It's interesting because, like, I feel like whenever I get canceled, I really don't feel like people hate me. Like, it triggers me and I go crazy and, like, manic, but I never think, like, people hate me. So I wondered if you...
So that's interesting. She says when she gets canceled, she doesn't think that people actually hate her. I like half believe her on this and I half don't. The part that I believe is that she knows that she'll never for real get canceled, so she doesn't really care if people actually hate her. Because if people actually hated her, she would not have room to come back online, and she always has room to come back online. And I shouldn't even say come back because she never leaves. She's never left online. So I agree. I do believe her that she says, I don't think anyone ever actually hated me, because she's had like more than 9 lives on the internet. She's had 9,000. She's had a bunch. But I do believe that she has felt hated before, because during the Nikocado drama, she said that the whole internet hated her, and she like struggled to kind of come back from that, because she struggled to come back with that without an apology. Like, she had to invite Nick Ocado to her house and be his friend again, or and be his friend to get the internet off her back. She even said that in a video where when Nick Ocado was having drama with Stephanie Sue, Trisha covered it, and she basically took Nick's side against Stephanie. And in that video, Trisha actually said, I'm on Nick's side, but I told you guys that he did the same thing to me and you guys didn't care. And then I felt pressured to be his friend just so the internet would stop hating me. But he did this to me too. But then she says that, and she kept saying Stephanie Sue was a manipulator and conniving, and that Nick was innocent. So it's just another situation where she talked out of both sides of her mouth.
You thought, like, because I don't think people hated you either during all that. I wondered if you felt hated. I don't think people hated. I never hated you.
I mean, like, look at this. Like, I hate Gabbie Hanna too. Like, I actually hate that girl because she lied on me.
Then like tweets I got were pretty like intense.
I don't believe that Trisha didn't hate Gabbie. Like, she straight up said she hate watched Gabbie, and I know she was like, well, I didn't hate you, hate watch, but no, she seemed to hate Gabbie. She wanted to get the drama channels against her, and she wanted everyone to believe that Gabbie was a bad person. So I would say that she hated Gabbie.
Like, I hate Gabbie Hanna too. Like, I actually hate that girl because she lied on me.
And like, I mean, like, the stuff that you said was pretty intense. So
Which part?
I mean, a lot of it.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think it even matters to go into the details right now, because like I think
I just was so curious. I wanted to come because I'm like, I want to know her perspective, because to me it was like, I don't know. It didn't matter that much, and then it got like to this whole level. And then when I thought you did have an actual break, and then I felt bad because I was like, holy shit. Because for me,
I don't think she did feel bad though, because Trisha's trying to say like, oh well, I went at you and I didn't think it was that serious, but then when you had a mental break, I felt bad for you, but she didn't. I'll again show the clip on front of me is where we see Gabbie having an alleged mental break, and Trisha saying, that's fake. That's fake. She's just doing what I did to get out of trouble. So I don't believe her that she truly felt bad for Gabbie.
No, I know what this is though. This is trolling.
Is this whole thing?
She
just
copies
whatever?
my format to the extreme, because now that she had this manic episode and she had a breakdown, she's trying to like, I used to do that time in 2017. Like, you know, you just like are trying to like distract people. Like, look, I'm trolling, I'm in control. But like, that was obviously a troll.
But I do believe her when she says, I didn't care that I was doing things to you because it was just online stuff. Because Trisha always tries to say like online stuff doesn't matter. It wasn't that deep, but was it that deep or not? Because she told everyone else it was that deep when she was actively getting her drama channel friends to go at Gabbie. So was it that deep or was it not that deep? And if Trisha actually sided with Jessie Smiles, which she claimed to do, then why would she say like, well, I didn't hate you and I didn't ever think that things were that deep and nobody hated you? Like, wouldn't you think that, like, if you wanted this to be a real and honest conversation and you actually hated what Gabbie did to Jessie, wouldn't you say that?
I never really, and my breakdowns were never because of the internet. It was always like something in my real life, like something. So then I was like, oh my god, she's like actually breaking down because of the internet, or is it like trolling? Because then you said you were trolling people. I don't know. You're like everyone fell for it. Yeah, there was like tweets where you're like, oh.
She said she never broke down because of the internet, but she definitely broke down during the Nikocado avocado saga. She definitely tried to act as if she was crazy during that era. So I'm not sure why she's saying that the internet never really had any effect on her life. It definitely did. The Nikocado one was probably the closest I've ever seen Trisha to actually being canceled. Like, that really messed with her, and that's why she ended up becoming his friend to get out of the heat that she was in.
But see, you're like listening to my music or download and stream like Dandelion or whatever you were promoting.
Yeah, but that was just me trying to like capitalize on the that was me trolling in the way that like people. I think what you're talking about, the K-pop kids.
Yeah.
They were just making up dumb shit. I responded to all the K-pop tweets with Dandelion coming. Yeah.
So like
But it was never a joke to me. No.
Okay, so you were like actually traumatized. I don't never know. I never know how people like with that situation. I'm like, oh, maybe she is like cashing. I don't because I don't know you, so I was like maybe she's like cashing in on it.
So I believe that Trisha said this because Trisha does that. I believe that Trisha capitalizes off of drama. So she was like, oh, well, Gabbie's just doing what I did. Kind of like she said before about the mental breakdown, where she's like, she's faking a mental breakdown, just like I did. Because when Trisha would be in drama, she would kind of just capitalize off of it and play into it. Kind of like the dissociated incident where Trisha claimed that she had multiple personalities. And then when she got backlash for it, because she called one of the um when she called one of the people who had DID, she called them crazy. And then people were saying that Trisha was faking having multiple personalities. Trisha then made a video mocking them, which I'll go ahead and include here.
Hungry and I'm thirsty.
And that was her response to the backlash. So I think that's why she thought Gabbie didn't take it that seriously too, because whenever Trisha is in drama, she also just mocks it. So she was like, "Oh, you're just mocking it, so it wasn't that serious, right?"
I have like severe like social anxiety and like I lived a lot of my life with like I've never really been like a money driven person. I've always been like an accomplishment person. So like I'm psychotic. I had 1 year or one semester of perfect attendance, and then I had perfect attendance for like 9 years straight because a teacher told me like, good job, you had perfect attendance this semester. So like then I was like, perfect attendance always.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that, like OCD or what is that?
I don't think that Trisha believes that Gabbie isn't money driven, because I think Trisha believes that everyone's money driven because Trisha's money driven. That's why she constantly would accuse people of being money driven that were around her. Like she accused Ethan of being money driven, like Ethan Klein. She accused Jason Nash of being money driven. She accused David Dobrik of being money driven. She accuses everyone of it because she herself is. So I don't think that she believes Gabbie here. Like you could just like see it on her face. She doesn't really believe her.
It's a little bit of OCD. It's some ADHD. It's also just like not like bad relationship with your parents. Like there's a lot that goes covering this year.
You never go into that. I know nothing about your parents. Like I know everything about you and nothing about you.
I try to just like
Wait, did she just say I know everything about you?
Yeah. Never go into that. I know nothing about your parents. Like I know everything about you and nothing about you.
I try.
How does she know everything about her though? She says, I know nothing about your parents. I know everything about you, but I know nothing about your parents. How would she know everything about her though if she claimed that she didn't know her? She says, I don't know you like that. I'm not your friend. We've never been friends, but then she knows everything about her.
Try to just like keep. I have like young siblings who still live there, so I try to keep it. In my book, I go into like some detail of it.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to, like, I don't want them to go to school and then people have read about their parents.
Yeah.
So I think that once they're all like older and graduated, I'll probably get more into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do apologize to your sister that I trolled on TikTok.
She was really upset. She was really upset.
What was the thing I did? What was her TikTok? It was something.
I think you just commented something about she was embarrassing or should be embarrassed.
No,
What?
she's like, I can't remember what it was. I feel bad.
I don't either.
I don't know
I
how
don't
old she was.
remember.
I feel bad. I'm sorry. There's not.
So Trisha then claims like, oh, I'm sorry to your little sister who I said something to. And then she says, I don't even know what I said. And then Gabbie said, oh, you said she was embarrassing. And then Trisha's like, no, it wasn't that. But if you don't remember, how would you know? And if it was Gabbie's sister, she would remember what her sister went through, right? And then Trisha goes on to say, I don't know how old she was. I felt bad. Like, I'm pretty sure Gabbie's sister was a minor at this time, but it wouldn't have even mattered because Trisha has a habit of going after minors like she did with Charlie D'Amelio, who she knew was only 16 years old and said she didn't care because Charlie was an internet celebrity. But it's interesting that Trisha would even go as far as to attack Gabbie's little sister. I personally think that's too far. Like, don't go after people's siblings, especially if they're minors.
How much I feel bad about, like,
Cecilia Trisha Sorry.
is that her name, Cecilia?
Yeah.
And then she made like a follow-up TikTok. Gosh, sometimes I truly feel bad, especially when they're like young. Like I don't know how old she is.
Yeah.
She's like a high schooler.
Well, the reason I felt bad in that situation,
She said she feels bad when they're young, but that's not true. When she went after Charlie D'Amelio, she did not care in the slightest that Charlie was 16. She went on and on and on about it and tried to get her canceled, and she didn't care. So I don't believe her at all that she feels bad when they're young. I think she thinks that everyone's fair game.
I actually got really upset with her for like engaging in it.
Yeah.
Because she's still living the life that I lived because she still lives home.
Oh, right.
So
right.
like I know where she is mentally. So I know that she's not equipped to handle the things that could come her way, like if you had chosen to take the route of like pursuing that.
Yeah.
So I just got really upset with her, like, do not engage with this. Are you out of your phone?
Yeah.
Did you not see?
That's interesting too, is that apparently Gabbie's sister was actually doing it to stand up for Gabbie, and Gabbie got mad at her and said, "Do not put yourself in the line of fire for me. You cannot handle this. Like, I can barely handle this. You cannot handle this at all." And I think that that's pretty sad. Like, imagine going to defend your sibling, and then your sibling has to come and tell you, like, "Don't do that. Don't defend me. I don't want you to get hurt too." Because if you can't defend yourself against it, how are you going to defend your sibling against it?
Like what I went through, like, why are you doing this? And
You know,
it became like a fight.
I feel like because my sister, she like kind of like doesn't care. So I was like thinking, oh, this girl doesn't care. Like she was like saying something like, oh, I know.
So this is the thing. Notice that Trisha says, well, my sister doesn't care, so I kind of thought, oh, your sister wouldn't care. There's two things I'm going to say here. One, I feel like Trisha equates everything to how she feels and how what she can reference in her life. So if she doesn't care about something, she just thinks that you don't care about it either. If her sister doesn't care about something, she's like, oh, well, her sister doesn't care either. They're two different people. Kelly is a grown adult. Sounds like Gabbie's sister was a minor and much younger. They wouldn't think of things the same way. On top of that, Trisha's sister does care. Trisha's sister, or according to Trisha, Trisha's sister was run off the internet because she was so allegedly hurt by Ethan Klein and the H3 fandom calling her out. So how is that Kelly not caring about what people say about her? On top of that, Trisha went on and on and on about how Ethan should have never attacked her sister because her sister was an internet figure. If her sister with a YouTube, a TikTok, all the social medias isn't a YouTube figure, what did Trisha think that Gabbie's little sister was? If she says that Ethan took it too far by going after her grown sister, what did she think she was doing when she attacked Gabbie's little sister? Kelly literally defended Trisha. H3 came at her, rightfully so, because Kelly was telling lies, and then Kelly apparently vanished from the internet for a little bit because of it. So clearly, Trisha's sister, as an adult, could not handle it. So what makes Trisha think that a younger sister, a minor, could handle it?
I know what it was that bulletproof where it's like, you think you can hurt my feelings, like I'm down against sister, and I was just like, I don't know what I said, and I was like, oh, but I always feel bad, like even like the Charlie thing, like she's 16, like I kind of felt bad, and then I didn't feel bad because then like James Charles and everyone got involved, but then I was like, oh.
See, like she says, like, oh, even with Charlie, she was 16 and I kind of felt bad, but then I didn't feel bad. She never felt bad, you guys. She didn't feel bad because she thought that Charlie was fair game. To say, oh, James Charles got involved, so I didn't feel bad. What would someone defending a 16-year-old have to do with you feeling bad for you going at that 16-year-old? Charlie is not James. And it didn't even make sense because Trisha actually forgave James on Frenemies, even when Ethan was like, Trisha, he's like a pred. Like, what do you mean you forgive James? Like, what do you mean you don't hate him? So I find it hard to believe that she felt so bad and then didn't feel bad just because James got involved. I think she just didn't feel bad, period, because like I said, she didn't care. She thought Charlie was fair game. She thought Gabbie Hanna's sister was fair game. She doesn't care if you're a minor or not. She'll still come at you.
Her feelings must really hurt, and I kind of did feel bad because like it wasn't a big deal, and to me I was like, okay, whatever. But
Well, I don't think she's in a place where
Again, Trisha keeps saying that because it's not a big deal to her, she assumes that it's not going to be a big deal to everyone else, minors included.
like her feelings were hurt. She's in a place where she would respond with like anger as well.
for sure,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? I just didn't want her to get caught in the trap that I've
Yeah.
been caught in because it takes years and a lot of work to kind of undo how you were raised.
Yeah.
And I'm 29 years old and I'm still trying to undo that.
Yeah, it's
you know
a
what
lot.
I mean? So she's not even close. So
Right.
like when that happened, I was just like, oh
I
God.
do apologize for that. I don't really I never apologize. And also for me, I've never had.
It's interesting too that Trisha says, I never apologize, but she apologizes for that. I think she did this to fill the silence, to be honest, you guys. I don't think she was genuinely sorry for Gabbie Hanna's sister. I think she did it to fill the silence and to pretend that she was offering a peace offering. But it's interesting that she says she never apologizes because in other videos, she claims that she's always the one to apologize, that no one ever apologizes to her, and she's always the one to apologize. She said that before this podcast, yet in this podcast, she says, I never apologize, but I'm apologizing now. As if to emphasize that it's like supposed to mean something.
And whether it's my fault or not, if I've ever hurt someone, I'll always apologize.
Apologize.
That's true. I feel like by like
Not to me.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm like, do I have something to apologize for? I don't know. We'll see. We can talk about it. Because maybe sometimes, because I have a thing where I do feel like I'm too hard. Like I'm mean. I can be mean as.
But you were never mean, you know?
Yeah, thank you.
You always had a good heart.
I just couldn't be mean to people. Like,
Whatever. Not like saying nasty stuff, but mean as in like going for like, you know, just being like aggressive or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then I like.
No, she can definitely say nasty stuff, and she can definitely be aggressive, which is why she was going at 16-year-old Charlie so hard. But it's interesting that she didn't think that she had anything to apologize for, yet apologized, you know, I believe fake apologized, to Gabbie's sister. I find that interesting. Also, I find it interesting that Gabbie kind of was like, no, you do apologize. I've seen you apologize. I think Gabbie was lying there because I've never seen Trisha apologize ever for anything. So I think Gabbie was trying to be nice, but she shouldn't do that because it's enabling behavior and it actually makes Trisha believe, hey, I do apologize. I am a good person when she never apologizes. But I understand Gabbie was also trying to extend an olive branch just like Trisha was. But little did Gabbie know she was actually extending an olive branch that Trisha would later use to whack her with.
Like feel bad about it usually, even like Jeffrey, I was kind of starting to feel bad for him, and that's why this whole thing started. I was like, oh, maybe I'm like too hard on him because he had like a rough upbringing. So I start feeling bad for people. Like I don't know, that's like.
So this right here is really interesting. Trisha actually did feel bad for Jeffrey, and she actually even felt bad for Shane after they fell out. She only felt bad for Jeffrey and Shane, you guys, two grown men. She never felt bad about the women she went after, the girls she went after. She never felt bad about that. She only ever cared about the grown men, the problematic grown men, by the way, the men who are hurtful to others, who are harmful, who are aggressive. She only felt bad for them, but never for the innocent people that she attacked. Like she didn't feel bad for Charlie ever. And even if she pretended that she did, it was never in the same way that she felt bad for Jeffrey. So take that for what you will.
Like the word of
Well,
bipolar.
as somebody with a bad upbringing, what I can say about that is there's so many times.
And keep in mind, Shane's guilt and crime is against minors, and Jeffrey's guilt and crime is against everybody. So it's interesting that two guilty people get her sympathy, two harmful people get her sympathy, but the vulnerable and the innocent don't.
Toxic behaviors to undo, but it is your responsibility to undo.
Yeah.
So at our age, like if we're still reacting in that way, we do deserve some type of like repercussion for that.
For sure.
And you know, hopefully we're all getting to a point where we're kind of undoing that. But like there is no excuse. Like mental health is not an excuse to berate people, but there is also the mental health aspect to it where it's like
That's true what Gabbie's saying. Mental health is not an excuse to attack people, but Trisha does use it as an excuse to attack people. Because she'll frequently say, like, oh, I only did that because I was, like, not okay at the time. Or I only did that because I was under the influence at the time. So she does use that as an excuse, but Gabbie's right. At your grown age, with your kind of wealth, things that you can do to get help, you have no excuse. And I will show the clip where Trisha said that she didn't want to get help because she wanted to be the same way and she wanted people to love her in spite of it. So she never had any interest in not using mental health as an excuse, and she just wanted to kind of tantrum out and let people deal with the fallout and prove that they loved her in spite of it.
If someone doesn't want to change, they're not going to, and I don't think I'm going to. Because I don't think I want to. And if that means being alone, then that's what it means, you know? But I like who I am. That's the problem. I just don't want to change it. But I just want someone to, like, love me and see through it and see past it.
And this is something that, like, I saw recently, like, the Ethan situation where, like, you know, you were talking about his, like, wife or whatever, that whole thing, and you felt embarrassed and whatever, and you apologized.
Yeah.
And that is part of your mental health, and as long as you are apologizing for it.
But I don't think that Trisha felt bad about what she's doing to Hila. So again, Gabbie's putting herself in a situation where she's enabling Trisha's behavior by leading Trisha to believe that she's a nicer person than she is or a better person than she is. She's saying, you apologized, you were nice. That isn't exactly the truth. So what happened is Trisha flipped out on Hila for no reason. She attacked Hila for no reason. Hila never did anything to her. Trisha attacked her. And then Trisha still wanted to do the show. So she just was like, I didn't mean anything I said about Hila. I don't like that I said that, but it wasn't true because not only did she say things about Hila then, she said things about Hila afterward. She said things about Hila before. She never stopped talking about Hila. She She's never stopped talking badly about Hila. She never cared. So I feel like Gabbie is doing this thing here that Jason Nash used to do when he dated Trisha, where she's excusing the behavior because she's trying to like connect with her and bond with her and like give her reasons like, I know you're not like this because I think Gabbie wants to believe that she's not like this. So she's like, you said you were sorry. There's like a good person in you because she wants to believe that there is. But unfortunately, I don't think there is.
That's fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's about taking accountability and trying to be better, but at the end of the day, it is something that mental health is real and it
Yeah.
makes you act a certain way. And that is also something that I've always had in mind when it came to you, where like it did hurt me a lot. But, and I don't know if this is too much, like I'm a little tipsy, so let me know if this is too much or if this is like upsetting you. I'll also take out anything you want to, by the
That's
way.
fine. You can leave anything in.
But
This is another dangerous scenario where Trisha says it's fine, you can leave anything in. But then when people do, she gets mad. She did the same thing with Ethan. See, Gabbie's trying to say, hey, if you don't feel comfortable with anything, I will take it out. I want you to feel comfortable with this. I want this to be like a collaborative thing. I want this to be peaceful. If you don't like any of this, I'll take it out for you. And then in the end, what happens is Gabbie ends up posting it because Trisha says it's fine. And then Trisha then says, oh my God. And then she edited it like this and it was like this and she manipulated me. So Gabbie kind of tried to stop that from happening and it still happened anyway.
my mom has borderline personality disorder,
Yeah.
and so does my sister.
Uh-huh.
So I was raised around it and I understand it very well. And I understand the nuances to it very well. And I've also had a lot of those traits because I was raised with those traits.
Right.
And for a while I thought I had borderline because of just my actions aligned a lot with it.
I personally feel in this moment that Trisha doesn't like what Gabbie's saying. Trisha seems a little bit defensive. She's not exactly open and relaxed. She's still in her defensive position. And she's looking at her kind of like she doesn't like what she's hearing. I feel like what's happening here is Gabbie's trying to excuse Trisha, and Trisha doesn't want to be excused in this way. So Gabbie's saying like, "Oh, I know you have this, and this is the reason." And in Trisha's mind, she's probably thinking like, "I didn't do anything to you. Why are you blaming it on this?" So I think Gabbie's barking up the wrong tree here by trying to again enable and justify her behavior, and it's not exactly hitting for Trisha, in my opinion.
It sometimes, but in my case, it was just more nurture, and I had to break those habits.
Yeah.
But like, I think that was another reason that I just always, reached out to you and wanted to be your friend, is because I do understand that when you go on those tirades, it's not because you are mean and
Yeah.
hateful. It's usually a reaction to rejection or it's chemical.
Yeah.
It's chemical, and I think that you do genuinely feel bad about them. And
So this is interesting, but Gabbie speaking about PPD is actually pretty accurate. The way that she's describing it is pretty accurate. She's not justifying it or excusing it, but she is saying, you know, I believe that you believe things are like perceived rejections, or you're taking things this way because you're reacting this way because you feel in a way that you have been rejected, or that this is happening to you. She's actually speaking very carefully and softly about this, and she doesn't seem to be trying to like blame anything on Trisha. In fact, she's trying to be like, she's presenting it softly, like, I think this is what you're going through. I understand you, but again, even though Trisha's saying yeah, I don't think that she's entirely on board with this. I think she feels like Gappy is diagnosing her, and I don't think she likes it. Even though Trisha herself had claimed at this point that she had BPD.
I think that's an important
Yeah.
thing to highlight.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, like, obviously the Ethan thing, calling like Hila the C word, obviously that was like a switch. That was like just a blackout.
Yeah.
But then there's like a lot of things online that like I don't.
So she says yes and no. Notice that she says yes and no, and then she calls out the Ethan thing. And it's interesting that she says, first of all, that she emphasizes no too, where she's like yes and no, because she's saying like, no, not entirely. And then when she does talk about it, she says, well, for the Ethan thing, of course, because she wants an excuse for what she did to Hila. So she's saying that she blacked out, and that's why she attacked Hila. But it's not true, you guys. She's attacked Hila on many occasions before, after, during. And she wasn't just blacking out all those times. She did not like Hila. Hila was a threat to her because she was threatened by women, and because she was threatened by the fact that Ethan had a woman like Hila, and she couldn't do what she wanted to do with Ethan, which was to try to manipulate him, to try to come on to him. Um, I feel personally that she tried to hurt Hila in many ways, including trying to hurt her mother, but that's for another video. Let's see, the text on screen here says, there's a lot of things online that like I don't really have any apologies for. Okay, so she's just quoting what Trisha just said. So again, it's kind of showing that Trisha's more careless than Gabby's trying to present. Like Gabby's trying to say, I know you like aren't mean like that. I know it's just coming from a place of hurt. And Trisha's like, Well, yes and no. I don't really care that I've hurt people. Like, I'm not really that sorry. So this is what I mean by Gabby's trying to give her an out when she doesn't deserve that out, and she doesn't even want to take that out.
Don't really have any apologies for. Like, I don't mind calling people out if I think something's like wrong. Like our situation, I don't really regret it because like that thing bothered me. The her thing with like Jason, like that thing bothered me for so long. And I told you before I even like went out with it. Like I think it was like June when I texted you. I'm like, hey, this is the reason because I think I was having breakdowns online. And you're like, why don't you want to be my friend? And I was like, this is why. And then
So she says she doesn't regret the situation between them. Here's the thing. The initial reason why she was mad at Gabbie allegedly was because Gabbie told Jason that she had an issue after sleeping with someone and that Jason could potentially catch that issue if he slept with her because he slept with her unprotected, according to Gabbie. So I can understand why Trisha would say, I even told you, like, I don't regret not liking you, and I don't, and because I even confronted you and told you this is why I don't like you. I do remember that when Trisha did say, Gabbie, this is why I don't like you, and I told you this is why I don't like you. So it's okay that she doesn't regret that because she believes Gabbie stepped out of line. So it's completely fair, in my opinion, that she didn't regret that incident. However, she's done a lot of things to Gabbie since then that I think that she should have regretted if she actually was a good person.
And I'm a lot of things. There's a lot of things wrong with me. I'm just really not a girl about people. Yeah. Like I told you, like I don't talk literally anybody. Like all my issues I air out there. So that's why I made the initial the video because I was like, oh well, maybe she's like confused that I have an issue with her and I talk about her. And I'm like, well, if your name gets brought up, this is what I talk about and that's it. I'm not like.
I don't believe that she's not a talker because she used to say that Shane Dawson would gossip all the time with her, that they would gossip all the time. So it's hard to believe that someone who addresses her issues out on YouTube would not also secretly be talking about them. She secretly talks about everyone. Or she's admitted to like talking about people behind their back all the time. All the time.
Like I Gabbie, I'm just like, oh yeah, she told Jason everything. But I didn't know, and it doesn't matter, but
okay, that tracks though. That actually tracks. Trisha said, I wasn't talking bad about you. I just said, hey, she told Jason this. So she said she told people that. And that is actually today, like in 2026, what Gabbie says that Trisha was saying to people, that she was telling people, Gabbie told Jason, I have this. So that tracks. They're both, I don't know what they're arguing about here because Gabbie's saying, you talked about me. And Trisha's saying, I didn't. All I said was this. But Gabbie counts it as still talking about her. But they're basically arguing about a truth that they both, it's a fact. They both confirmed it.
Because you were the one that told him, but it's like, I don't know. I think the whole thing was just like, that was crazy. Obviously, I don't care. It was so long ago now, and I'm just like, okay, like, whatever. But, and that's why I
I've never gotten to apologize to your face about this. Like, I've done it on a YouTube video and, like, kind of through text, but I never meant to hurt you through that. And if I had known that it would turn into this, if I knew that it would hurt you in this way, I wouldn't have done it. And
so that part doesn't make sense to me, though, because to this day, Gabbie says that she doesn't regret telling Jason that, and that if you have a friend that would regret that and wouldn't do it, then get rid of that friend. So I think that I don't know why here she's saying that she wouldn't still do it because if it truly was to protect Jason, why would you regret it and not do it just because it's upset Trisha? Because in 2026, she's saying with her whole chest, I would do it again. I have no regrets. I was trying to protect my friend, and a good friend protects their friend. If she truly believes that, if that's the real reason she did it, then she should have no problem than saying, I'm sorry it hurt your feelings, but I was protecting a friend. For her to say, I'm sorry, and I wouldn't do it if I knew it would hurt you, I think that kind of weakens her argument now and then for why she said she did it.
I think at the time, like, you and I weren't in a place where we were, like, friends anymore, so I didn't think that you wanted to hear from me and, like, to text you randomly and be like, I heard this rumor about you, is it true? Like, when I told Jason that, like, it genuinely was from a place of, like, I don't know if this is true. I heard it. If I was in this position, I would want to know. Look out for yourself. It's your life. You care. Like, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was also 2 or 3 years after I heard the rumor. Right. So, like, it wasn't like I was going around, like, spreading the rumor. It was like.
But again, if she was doing that for Jason's well-being and to protect Jason, then why would she say that she wouldn't do it to this day? Also, Trisha does not seem to be accepting this apology. I don't think she likes it. I think she's probably thinking, like, why were you in my business in the first place? Because Trisha says it wasn't true. So I don't know whether it is or not. We don't have any confirmation about that. All we have is Trisha's word, but Trisha claims that it's not true. We do know Shane Dawson is also a liar, and Shane Dawson is the one who started the rumor. We also know Trisha's a liar, but this is between, I believe, this would be between Trisha and Jason, so it doesn't really matter.
like it came up in a situation.
Yeah.
But I didn't, regardless, I never wanted to hurt you, but I did. And
Would you do
that's
it
what
again?
was.
Like if someone's like, hey, this person has you to like go tell the person they're dating, would you do that again? Like if one of your really good friends was dating someone that you're like, I heard this person's positive, would you tell them?
I mean, if I was friends with somebody who I thought was credible, which, you know,
Right.
you know, told me like,
Again, Gabby's proving here, like, I thought Shane was credible when he said it, so I didn't know why he would lie about you. This is just proof, though, that Shane was a bad friend to Trisha. But Peter Mon actually said that Trisha was a bad friend to Shane, too. Peter Mon said that Trisha would talk about Shane behind his back and tell him that Shane was not hygienic. And when Peter said he would apparently, like, be attracted to Shane or something, Trisha was, like, mind blown and was like, you would be? He's, like, not even hygienic. So she was talking about him, too. They weren't exactly the most loyal of friends that they claimed to have been. Although Trisha was loyal to him during the issue with the children, where she didn't believe the kids and believed that Shane was innocent for some reason. But it's interesting that Trisha says here, would you do it again? And then Gabbie kind of waffles. It's interesting because now, today in 2026, Gabbie said it's interesting because today in 2026, Gabbie said she would do it again. That she would absolutely do it again. So it's interesting that here she's actually kind of not just being straightforward and saying, yes, I would. I would protect someone. And I don't know why Trisha's so aggressive about it's like she doesn't believe her apology, and that's why she's like, oh, you're sorry? Well, would you do it again then? She wants to, like, she doesn't believe the apology, and that's why she wants the confirmation.
like, and they're Irene, and Irene comes up to me and is so excited, like, yo, this person, and somebody who's their best friend tells me, like,
That's also weird that Jason did that. Why would Jason excitedly go into, like, a friend group and be like, yo, I slept with Trisha? Like, that's a little bit weird. I know Trisha said that she didn't care about that kind of thing, and she actually liked it, and she was complimented by it, but I personally find that weird that he would go announce that.
they have AJ. I would probably honestly do the same, just
Don't
because,
you think they have that conversation as like an adult?
well, not a lot of people do.
Okay, but like even if they don't, like
That's
it's
how
not your
it's
business
friends.
though. But
I
it's
get that.
not your, you know what I'm saying? And that's still my biggest issue. It's like it's just none of anyone's business. And even
Ooh, she's getting really aggressive here. Now she's getting mad. The fake pleasantries have kind of dropped because this is something that Trisha feels passionate about because she was very upset when it happened with her and Jason. Because apparently, once Jason was told this by Gabbie, Jason supposedly no longer wanted to sleep with Trisha, even though he continued to do it. But apparently, he hesitated for a bit after he heard this information. So it really upset her. Now, this topic is up for debate whether it's people's personal business or someone should intervene. But I'm going to include something here that would explain why someone would maybe need to intervene. Because Trisha says, like, don't you think that people would have that conversation themselves? Like, it's between them. But take a look at this tweet. Does that really seem like someone who would have the conversation with their partner? It doesn't seem like that to me. So I can understand why Gabbie would be kind of like, well, does he know? Does he not know? But let's keep watching.
if I had full blown her, like it's none of anyone's business. And like the fact that like you told Jason and David was in the room and all this like crazy, like
Okay, well, that's fair if David was also in the room and she kind of announced it to everyone. That's completely fair. There's one thing to tell your friend privately, hey, you might want to be concerned about this. It's another thing to announce it in a room with other people. I think that would be where Gabbie went wrong. I think if she did it out of concern, because like I showed in this tweet, that Trisha doesn't seem like she would tell someone. She seems like she would hide it, and she encouraged others to hide this kind of information from their partner. But she says, even if I did, it would be nobody's business. That's not true. It would be your partner's business. It would definitely be your partner's business if you had it, but it would not be David's business. So Gabbie announcing it to David as well, I believe that's where she crossed the line, and I think that's what she should be apologetic for. Not the fact maybe that she told Jason, but the fact that she also told David as well.
it's fine. Like if I had full blown fine, one, it was a lie, but it's just more the fact that like it's so personal. Like just to be like, I heard this person like you don't know their history. Maybe that person, maybe Jason has heard, you know? And it's just like that to me, and it still was like that was my biggest issue, and it's still my big issue because it's such a personal thing, like talking about
I mean, I get it. It is a personal thing, and it doesn't make sense why Gabbie would announce it to more than just Jason if she actually truly was concerned for Jason. But again, Trisha was tweeting things like this. Like she tweeted this, encouraging people not to tell their partners if they had things. So I don't necessarily think that Gabbie was in the wrong for actually telling Jason something, but I do think Gabbie was in the wrong for telling Jason in front of David.
About people's like self, like just was
Yeah.
like so violated because even if that was 100% true or whatever, it's just like so violating. It's like Jesus, like,
Yeah.
and like Jason
Well, here's where that part doesn't make sense. Trisha says even if it was true, you still shouldn't have done it. Well, Jason told Gabbie that he had no idea that she potentially had that. So if it was true and Jason didn't know and you still slept with him unprotected, that's a huge deal. That's a bigger deal than Gabbie telling him that you might have it. If you actually did have it, if it was 100% true and Jason was unaware, Jason told Gabbie he was unaware, then that's a bigger issue. You should not be sleeping with people, especially unprotected, and not disclosing your full health with them. Absolutely not. If this is your belief, if this is your belief that you not only don't tell your partners, but you encourage others not to tell your partners, that's a problem. That's an issue. And I think that's the worst thing in this scenario. Now, there's so much more to this story and so much more to this podcast. We've literally only touched the tip of the iceberg. But if you guys want me to keep going with the series, if you guys want me to keep going with these videos, let me know. I have no problem going through the entire over 2 hour podcast and going through the nitty gritty and getting through all of it and showing where the lies were and reacting to it. But let me know how you guys feel about me continuing this. And also let me know what you thought in general. Did you agree or disagree with anything I said? And what are your general thoughts about this? Let me know in the comments below.